white plays right. I would say that the move of choice I would think is probably something like knight h5 maybe. And even if, you know, take, you still have knight g3. You know, and after king g1, or after king g2, which would be forced, probably rook g8. And I don't see how white's gonna survive this. You know, the threat, just if you make a random move, is the check there. I don't know, I guess he can go back, but it looks pretty dicey. Worst case scenario, black is getting the exchange on f1. Yeah, so something like here, I don't know, if rook takes, if knight takes rook, then that's just winning, and that's just after looking at it for a second. I'm sure there's multiple ways to win that. All right, so oops. So knight e5 is actually played. Robert does take, queen takes knight. All right, f5. Okay, I missed that. How about just knight e6? That looks pretty much devastating. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how this is. I don't know about devastating, but it's it pretty much does it. I mean, he has to defend mate, so he has a couple options. He can just play back, but then the exchange is won, or he can play here, and that looks like the only thing that prevents loss of the exchange. But then, I mean, right off you have this for one, and you're threatening the discover there, and you're threatening the rook, and you know, I just don't see how black. I think white should actually have a fairly convincing, if not decisive, advantage. So f5 is probably a mistake there. Ooh, queen takes. Wow. All right. Well, sorry to go through the last moves quickly, but if you just want to rewind it or whatever, yeah, I think this is the opposite of good for Robert. And I hear it's clearly over, and Robert was right in resigning. But I think, I mean, I have to believe that he was in some some time pressure here, although we are playing 30-second increment. Um, Clearly, you know, this was a blunder. Um, Maybe best. Sorry. Um, yeah, maybe night takes was just um, eons better. I'm sure that after this, even though there's got to be um, some way to do a little better than what happened. But no, it was an odd game to say the least. Just going back through it one more time, I think that a lot of Robert's difficulties were really evident from being overly aggressive with his kingside pawns. Um, but you know, Adin basically blundered the game back, and there were two blunders there in a row that went from giving probably a draw to a loss, um, and then it's the tough thing about time pressure. But you know, I personally, like a lot of people, if you give me 2 hours, sometimes I know last year at the National Open, I had 2 hours for the first time control and make 30 moves, I think it was, and I 30 or 40, and I didn't make time control in my first round. So, but yet, I can be an above average blitz player. It's just, it's like no matter what time control you play, some people will always be in time pressure, and Robert seems to be one of those people. Um, but yeah, so it was a setback for the New Mexico team for sure. Both sides had a lot of chances, and both, guess the play ranged from excellent to blunderific at times. So um, that's four games down. The score is Colorado 2, New Mexico 2. Sorry, New Mexico 2. And two of the four games have been birds. So, all right. I hope everyone has a good day. Next up will be Doug versus the enigmatic Nino Nielsen.